you're so
Bye.
anxious right now. I can see your anxiety just rising. Okay,
I'm
ready?
sweating.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
Okay.
Big one in, big one out. It's okay. No one's impregnating you, Haley.
I got so hot right then.
I saw it happen right in front of me.
Where are the quiet gays? Where are the quiet gays supposed to go?
Hi.
My eyebrows are messed up. Hi.
I haven't seen you in so long.
I know you've been a busy bee, a busy worker bee.
Oh my God. I'm not going to have a full day off until next Sunday. And I've been working, or I haven't had a day off. Let's see. I started Monday. I had school Monday and a little bit of work. Worked Tuesday, had clinicals Wednesday, Thursday. Just worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Tomorrow I have school, and then I'm going. Do you know Mina?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm doing her maternity photos on Monday after school, which I'm so excited about. And then Tuesday work, Wednesday, Thursday clinicals, and then I work Friday, Saturday. So then Sunday, nothing. I know. I haven't had a day. I was like, Haley, do you need to reschedule? Oh, no, you're good. Okay.
Yeah, I was literally napping. I cooked chicken noodle soup for 3 hours. And it
Why?
because my chicken noodle soup is so intensive because it's so good. It's like my thing that I make that is just really elite.
Okay, I want
good.
some.
It's so good. And it's really good for you because I just make it that way.
You make it with love.
Yeah. And the thing is that it exhausted me, and also it is now, you want to guess how hot it is in my apartment?
84.
You're so close.
Ooh.
82.
Yeah, because normally you're like, oh my God, it's so hot, it's 78. And if it's special, it's especially hot. I'm going to assume higher.
Yeah.
That is so hot.
Yeah. I literally, my hair was stuck to my face as I was.
Yeah, and you're over a flame. That sounds terrible.
Yeah. So I was like, 20-minute nap. Here we go.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I realized I have nothing to wear to my job, so I had to go to Kohl's yesterday. Because you have to be business casual, but I sweat so much that I'm literally just pouring sweat in my armpits and not between my legs, my vagina, but my thighs. And it's goes through my scrubs sometimes. And I'm like, this is embarrassing. So I have these black pants that are perfect. They're from Holara, actually.
Oh, I love them.
I know. But then I can't find anything to fucking wear because you can't show your shoulders at all. And if you have tattoos, you have to cover them, which I don't, but that's fine. So I got this sweater that I'm going to wear with all my tank tops. And I'm like, okay, this is good. This is breezy. Oh, but yeah, I love it. I love it at my new job.
I got an idea for you for an activity.
Okay.
You could pot flowers with them.
We do gardening.
Okay,
yes.
Good.
Yeah, they do that. We do a lot of bingo. We do movies, which we just watched The Sound of Music, and I had never seen it. And oh my God, I was crying. I know.
Shook that you've never seen that.
I know, it just never sounded good to me.
Feels so alive with
Oh
the
my God.
sound of
The music. Oh my God. Yeah, it was so good. I loved it. And I'm like, I need to watch it again. Oh, I don't think if we are going to put this in, I don't know if I just got a job at a nursing home doing activities. So it's fun. I get to go to my job and hang out with old people and they tell me their stories and I just get to chat with them and play bingo with them. It's so much fun.
You should do balloon volleyball with them.
I thought of that. I did think of that one. I saw that one. Possibly. I'm like trying to like learn how it works there first before I'm like, I have an idea. Because we have like a lot of different like ability levels.
Mm-hmm.
And like most people are in wheelchairs, which is fine. But like the ability to like move quickly might not be their jam.
Mm-hmm. Not fair.
But we'll figure it out. Okay, I have so much to say about this episode. Mainly how much I am just in love with Bette. I just love her. I am in love with her. And I have quotes that we can go over because I just love her. So how do you not fall in love with that woman? I don't know.
I could see why you're on the Bette train from this
Thank you.
episode.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I also took a picture of, so I like pause it constantly to take my little notes.
Yeah.
Paused it on a freeze frame of Shane, where Shane did not look creepy, and she was like, she looked very nice, and I was like, oh, okay, Shane, pop off.
Oh, just wait. Shane gets very hot very soon, and you'll understand everyone's like Shane love. So hi guys, welcome back. If you didn't know, we are doing season 1, episode 3 of the L Word. And my lovely co-host here finally understands my Bette love. So hi Haley, welcome to the Bette train.
Hi, thanks.
These are all my notes. These are, well, here we go. These are my notes. Look at how many notes I literally wrote like scene by scene. Okay, good. We have so many. Okay, great. Okay, I'm so excited. What did you think? What did you think?
Jenny is messy. Messy
God.
girl.
The messiest.
Dana, I feel like she's getting out of her comfort zone. She's having a little like, ooh, a little,
Yes.
maybe she'll come out. Who knows?
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Lacey, crazy lady Lacey.
Oh,
the stalker.
Shane stalker.
Yeah, I am so curious of like, did something happen? Also, oh my gosh, I noticed something at a scene that I'm pretty sure was a production mess up, but like I need to wait, I think, to find out if that was actually Lacey in the background stalking Shane. There was
Oh shit, did they put something in there?
Well, so it was the scene where Alice, Dana, and Shane were at someone's house and they were talking about the chart.
Yeah.
And it's like nighttime and there's a window in the back. And I saw somebody move outside the window.
Oh, that's gotta just be production.
Which I was like, yeah, either a PA messed up their lockup and probably a crew member did not listen to them and they just like blew past the lockup and then the editor didn't notice and kept that in.
Yeah.
Or was that Lacey stalking Shane outside the house? I don't know.
I mean, honestly, it could be. That's funny. That's really funny. I definitely think it's production.
This was like the perfect episode to have a mess up like that if it was a production mess up, you know.
I didn't even take notes on that situation because it's just like it. Oh man, it just is what it is. Oh, okay. So I want to start us off by talking about Bette and Tina.
Of course you do.
And listen, I wrote it down and okay. So it's when Tina comes in and she's like, let's make a baby. I want to go to the cryo bank. I'm going to get Marcus Allen's sperm. And like, she had just finished working out. So she's going to get in the shower. And Bette is just like, you can see how enamored she is with like, this decision from Tina and like just enamored with like Tina in general. And she says, yes, because I would love to make a baby with you tonight in our home, in our bed, just you and me. And I'm like, my immediate thought was, how do you not love this woman? How can you not fall in love with this woman? Like, if someone said that to me and they looked like Bette, I would be just a puddle on the floor. So we'll just start out there. Sweetest scene.
She was so sweet when Tina told her, and like getting in the shower with her, that was really quite the scene.
Ugh.
My little OCD brain went when Tina came in from running and hugged her when she
Oh,
was
yeah.
already clean. I was like, don't do that.
Yeah, and then
Please don't do
Bette
that.
was like, ah, you're gonna get me all sweaty.
Yeah, and then when Bette got back in the shower after she had already cleaned herself, my OCD brain went, "Oh, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that?"
To be with Tina, it's romantic.
I know, and when I put aside that, I'm like, yep, I see how cute, it was so cute.
Oh, I love it. And just like, I love their chemistry. I think that's I think I wrote it down later, but that was like one of the things that I'm like trying to now looking back at it as like a 32-year-old who has had like a partner who's a woman for like 2.5 years, gone through like the lesbian breakup situation. I'm like looking back at it like from such a different lens now than I was when I was watching it as like a closeted teenager.
Mhm.
And I'm just loving it because I'm like, as many problems as there will be with Bette and Tina's relationship, like starting out, it's just so sweet. And like, I love how much they love each other. And I love the way Bette talks to Tina when she's just like enamored with her. I just love it. So I'm enjoying my rewatch. I hope you're enjoying your first time go through.
I am.
Okay, good. And then next we find out that remember we were wondering whether Tim was coaching high school or college.
Yeah.
He's coaching college. We found that
Okay.
out because
Yeah.
he said we're going against USC. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
thank God. Thank
Yep.
God, because the whole situation with that other swimmer was like really gnarly.
Yeah, it was very odd.
Yeah.
But that when we find that out, I was just like, oh my God, because Jenny is like trying to talk to him. This is the morning after the proposal.
Yes.
And Jenny asks Tim in the morning, like, hey, can I talk to you real quick? And he's like, oh, don't have time. Like, he really barely registers that she has this sort of like aura about her that like something is unsettled.
Right.
And he barely registers her at all. He's just like, go team, SC, and then he is out the door, gone. And she's like, well, go
She's
team.
like, okay.
Yeah, and so that remains unresolved this entire episode. And she is just like, she is a mess.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
a mess. And she has the ring on her finger. So we get our answer. She said yes.
Yes. She's an emotional wreck the entire time, and I don't blame her. But she is just a messy Pisces queen, and it's so fun. It's not fun to watch. It's almost like cringe, and like I feel bad because I'm like, I feel like your emotions are so strong, but they're so frazzled and like crazy that it's like, girl, you need like a minute to like sit down and process.
Yeah. Well, it's like she's trying. So they have this engagement dinner later in the episode, and it's like she's trying to do that then. And she's also, I think, kind of trying to do that throughout the whole episode just by writing. And she writes a lot of like weird horror-y stuff.
Yeah, this is when we get into her writing, and it's interesting.
Yeah, and she has this message from Marina on voicemail that's like, I've been thinking about you, blah, blah, blah. And
what a ballsy message to leave on
I know,
a shared answering machine.
First.
Yes, exactly. I was like, and it's so sexy. She's like, Jenny, I was just thinking about you.
Yeah.
Call me back.
Yeah. Which, I mean, maybe Tim is so clueless that he'd be like, yes, honestly. Friends.
I mean, honestly, they do paint him that way.
Yeah. But she listens to this over and over and over again, and then it literally takes over her subconscious because her writing, where she's writing about some like Jewish funeral where they found this woman like wrapped in seaweed on the beach.
It
And
looked like Shane. It looked like the
Did
body
it?
looked like Shane at first. And I was like, is this just like low budget and they needed someone and like she was there? But like to me, it looked like Shane. And I was like, that's interesting. Obviously it wasn't, but I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, weird.
I know. Go back and look at that frame. It looks like Shane.
Okay, I will. Yeah, and then it like morphs and it's okay, so it's a man and a woman standing next to each other at the funeral, and the woman like reaches into the man's pants. And then it like tilts back up to their faces, and all of a sudden it's Jenny with her hand in Marina's pants, and then they're like making out in the middle of this funeral. And then
Yeah.
she like basically like wakes up, like it's back to Jenny in real life, and she's like, oh my God, what was
Yeah.
what was thinking
I
about?
literally wrote down weird ass funeral.
No kidding. So it's like, okay, she's trying to process, and then she deletes the message, and then it gets to her engagement dinner party for
Yes.
when her and Tim announce it, and Bette and Tina are there, and Tim runs into Marina at the coffee shop, and it's really weird because he has no idea what's going on, so he invites Marina.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she like tries to make an excuse not to come, and he's like, "No, I insist, come." And she's like,
Mhm.
"Okay, guess I can't get out of this."
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say about this dinner party, and I think we should just talk about it now. We'll just go like
Okay.
person by person because
Yeah.
so Marina, Bette, and Tina come over for the engagement dinner party with Tim, the assistant coach, and that assistant coach's wife, right? So
Mhm.
these are like, and then Jenny's going to be late.
Yeah.
And one of my first thoughts now watching it like back was this is like so gross because Tim, the assistant coach, and his wife were literally just at dinner sexualizing like all of these women,
I
including
forgot about
Marina.
that.
Yes. And I think you're supposed to forget about it, but because we're like doing this podcast, I'm like really thinking about it. And I'm like, that's gross. Especially Marina. They're like meeting this woman. They're like, oh, she'd be my type. And this is who I would fuck if I was a lesbian. And like
Oh.
now they're like having dinner all together. Like it's like fine and dandy. I just like don't like it. I don't like it at all. And then Jenny is late. So she's not even there. So she doesn't know Marina's coming. And
Yeah.
Tim's just blindsiding her too. I'm just like, there is so little communication between these two, Tim and Jenny, that it mind boggles me.
Yeah, except for that in any like real world scenario, I don't think that would have been a blindsiding. I think that would have been normal because he just
True.
thinks that's Jenny's friend. Like she has this friend group and Marina's part of it, right?
True. Yeah, this
And he like
lesbian
ran
friend
into one of
group.
her friends. Yeah, he ran into one of her friends.
Yeah.
Oh, why don't you come?
Yeah, Tim didn't do anything wrong at all in this situation. It felt icky to me because I was like, oh, now you're like introducing your assistant coach and his wife to like these lesbian women that like you guys all just had this conversation about. I don't know. It just made me feel gross.
Yeah, I totally get why that felt gross. Had I
Yeah.
remembered about that, then that would have felt gross to me too. Yeah.
Yeah. I really think you were supposed to forget. So I think you're doing great. I always tell my girls, like they always ask me questions during movies and I'm like, I don't know. Let's wait and find out. Or like, you're supposed to have that question. The
Mhm.
way they wrote this movie, that is the exact question you're supposed to have and they will answer it. So
Mhm.
sit tight.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, and I did feel like this whole engagement was so emotional. I cried when Marina and Jenny were in the kitchen together, like right before Bette walks in, because I feel, and we can get into a little bit of my story because it was brought up so much stuff for me. But I just felt for Jenny so much in this scene. But okay, tell me the parts about this dinner and everything that you had, and then we can go to that part.
Yeah. So the funny thing about this is that Alice had really caught on to these two. And she had been saying to the friend group that, like, oh yeah, there's something going on between Jenny and Marina. And all of the rest of them were defending Marina and being like, no, Marina wouldn't do that. There's nothing going on between them. Jenny's straight, like, no. And especially Bette. Bette was like doubled down on that monogamy is possible. And that there are people that do it and not everybody is on the chart. And Alice, why are you so insistent that everyone's on the chart? Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And so now Bette and Tina are at this dinner party and they are really noticing a vibe between Marina and Jenny. And mostly it's not even a vibe. It's like extreme tension across the table.
and it's almost like they're talking about each other without talking directly to each other. Like it's that weird, like I'm saying one thing, but I know it means this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like super tense.
Yeah, and Marina is acting pretty normal, and she almost looks like she's walking on eggshells. She's like trying to say the right thing, and she's being very gracious, and she's very charming. And Jenny is like pissed off that she's there and is not really trying to hide it.
Nope. And she like goes off on Tim, and Tim is just like, I did feel bad for Tim because he was like, I don't know what's going on. And he actually has a funny line where he's just like, well, can you girls just kiss and make up or whatever it is you do?
Yeah. And Jenny is like,
Jenny's like fear.
Yes.
I also wrote down that Marina looks so pretty.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Her hair.
You and Marina are like same level of prettiness.
Oh,
like,
that's actually the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
I'm not joking. I feel like people react to you the same way people react to Marina. Where you're just like, yeah, it's so true. It's so true. Like you guys are both so like
nice.
You guys should be like Aphrodite's like goddess little helper girls.
Goddess little helper girls. That's
I forget
so
what
funny.
like temple girls. Is that what they were?
I don't know.
But yeah, she looked so pretty, and I was just like, oh. Yeah.
Yeah. It was
but then
like crazy.
Well, and it was so funny because Marina is like also so charming and literally says I'm so bad with the names on the show because the assistant coach's wife, she says, you look like a Renaissance painting. Yeah. And I'm like, what a nice compliment. And she's so genuine about it. And it's like kind of like Bette, where you're like, how do you not like be attracted in some way to some part of this woman, whether it's her charm, her beauty, her intellect, like there's something there for like everyone.
Yeah. And they all say it when she leaves at the end of the night too. Like all of them are like, wow, is everyone else in love with her too?
And Jenny's like, no. No.
Yeah. Jenny's just silent. And then they finally ask her like, Jenny, don't you at least have a little crush on her? No.
Absolutely not. Nope. I don't like her one bit. She's ugly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's talk about the kitchen. Scene.
Yeah.
So you tell. Well, yeah, you tell.
Oh, okay. They're in the kitchen. Well, Jenny's in there. She's, like doing something that a hostess would do. And Marina walks in and asks if she can have a glass and like reaches over the top of the back of Jenny to get this glass. Which like spooning position.
Yes. I literally wrote down if a woman reached over me like that, I would die. I like height. It's fun. It's attractive. Like be taller than me.
And then Marina is standing behind Jenny and Jenny hasn't looked at her yet. And she's like, let me see your ring. And Jenny turns around and shows it to her. And Marina sees for the first time that Jenny's crying.
She's like, not even crying. It's like that silent physiological response where you're just like so overwhelmed internally. You're not crying, but your eyes are like just going, just leaking and like it's not crying because she's not like hyper, like, you know, she's not like sitting on like what you would normally think of as crying. She's just so emotionally torn that she just tears coming down her face. And she asks Jenny if she's happy. And Jenny's like, don't ask me that. And I just like, it's so sad. It's sad to see someone reckon with who they are and how that's different from what they thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
And like reckon with the idea of like, my life isn't going to look like the way I had planned it out. And it's going to be such a stark contrast and I'm going to hurt people regardless. Oh, and then who walks in?
Bette.
Bette walks in and immediately is like, sees, because Marina has her back to Bette. So Bette can only see Jenny. And Jenny obviously is in tears. And Bette immediately clocks it. She's like, I already had a feeling based on dinner. But now, like, I know. And I actually really liked Bette's like response. But yeah, she kind of like very much holds Marina accountable. She like does not like this situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Jenny says something, this is where I have in my notes. Like Jenny says, I'm not used to feeling this way.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's so many different routes that like that could be interpreted through. Like, what did you think of that line? What did you think she was saying?
I think she was talking about having feelings for Marina. And I think she was also talking about like not being happy with Tim.
Right.
And she tries to play it off like it's about the ring, like she's not used to the feeling of the ring on her finger. Which
Right.
is like, give it up, Jenny.
Yeah, Jenny, come on. We all know you are like literally being tormented inside.
Yeah.
This is where I cried because I was just like, it's so sad because you know that Jenny like now has felt, and I think we've talked about it on this show before, like now you've like actually felt what it is like to be like a really attracted to somebody and very much like having feelings for someone, and now you're juxtaposing that against the way you feel about Tim. And it's not that you don't love him, but you now realize that you are not in love with this person.
Mm-hmm.
But you've built your life this way to where, but how do you get out of this situation? When, you know, you've said, yes, you're going to marry like yesterday or 2 days ago, you know, and now it's going to seem like a total flip. And, oh, it's just heart wrenching, really, really gut wrenching to watch.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah. And Bette is just quiet and just listens to her say that and looks at her like,
Marina.
looks at Jenny because Marina has
Yeah.
left the room and Bette listens to Jenny say that. And the look in her eyes was just like, I don't know. The look in her eyes was so comforting, I thought.
Oh yeah, Bette is, see, this is another reason I love Bette. Yeah. Bette was Bette, I feel like was very empathetic in this scene. Like it didn't even really have to like say much, but she like clocked exactly what Jenny was feeling and was like, there's no other way to be but empathetic to this tormented human being in front of me, because she, not that Bette can necessarily understand it from like the exact same point of view, but like I feel like as like queer women, we understand like that type of torment. And you're just like, all I can do is like give you a hug and say, I'm so sorry you're feeling this way.
Yeah.
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 But then Bette's like tone is very different with Marina. She like takes Marina to task and she just says, I think, and Bette is such a Capricorn to me. Don't get like such a Capricorn to me. And she was just like, Marina, I think this is wrong. And Marina says, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I don't think I've done anything wrong. And I was like, oh, oh my God, I've never in my life had the audacity to say something so contrary. to someone before. I was like, okay, that's kind of hot, but I don't know what to do with this because I think Bette's right. So sorry, Marina. I don't know. What did you think of that confrontation?
Yeah, I just think that there's high emotion happening with Marina
Yeah,
in this moment, and I think that Bet is right to feel the way that she does. I think she probably is feeling like a little bit protective of Jenny as like a younger woman, and also Jenny as somebody who is in like a committed relationship in the way that she also is, because
right.
that's what she was talking about earlier. And so like I think she's relating to Jenny in that sense, and she's feeling like she needs to protect like the monogamy of this other relationship.
Yeah, and that comes up with Tina when they go home, which I'm sure we'll talk about in like
Mm-hmm.
25 seconds. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I I don't know if I think that keeping it short the way that they did was productive on their part. Like they both
yeah,
said their piece and they ended it there, and and Bet exited the room, and they left it at that. And so they each know where the other stood, but they
yeah,
didn't like beat a dead horse, and I think that was very productive of them.
yeah. Well,
Um,
especially because they're at someone else's house
mhm.
too. Yeah. But Bet doesn't just like leave the room. She like basically not storms out. I don't want to be like dramatic, but she just tells Tina, like, we need to go. And I have to say, again, I really am like Tina in so many ways because I am the same way. Like, previously, like if somebody came up to me, we're at somewhere and they wanted to leave, I'd be like, okay. Like obviously there's like I trust that person and there's gonna be a good reason and I will be the one to make the excuse. Like because Tina's like, oh, Bet's had a headache all day. So it's like not coming out of nowhere. Like it's smooth. And I'm like such a similar person where I'm like, okay, I can like get us out of this. Don't worry. I come up with something and then they leave and they get into like an argument over it. And that was like really, what's the word? I was like, dang, like it's just like a normal relationship that Bet and Tina have where they're like gonna argue and they're gonna have differences in their opinions and whatnot. But yeah, Bet's pretty pissed about
Yeah.
Marina's actions.
Well, it feels like Bet is kind of projecting what's happening in Jenny and Tim's relationship, and she's taking that, she's making it very personal to her. And
Yeah.
so when Tina has a difference of opinion, and not even that Tina really has a difference of opinion, but she's just like, well, are you sure that that's what's happening? And before you get like really judgmental and you get so fired up, like you should really be sure about that, is basically what she's saying.
Yeah.
And just the fact that Tina isn't immediately as upset as she is and ready to like, be very righteous about like fighting against this wrongdoing.
Yeah.
She feels, I think, kind of like that's a personal attack on her relationship with her and Tina.
Yep. I think you're like spot on because yeah, the way Bet is reacting, I think you're so right because she basically what does she say? She's like, oh, because Tina is like, are you sure? Like you were just saying, and she's like, oh, is it different just because Marina's a woman? Like
Mhm.
she's really trying to do like same standards, which I'm not opposed to, but also it when it's like somebody figuring out their sexuality, not that you should cheat on your significant other or anything like that, but like it is a little different. It's a little different, and I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm just saying it's different when it comes to that scenario, I guess.
I kind of felt like she was bringing that up because Tina's bisexual, and she was trying to bring
Oh,
that, and she was trying to bring that scenario in so that she could draw the, again, make it personal to her and Tina, and be like, well, if you did this with a man, would that not be
right.
wrong?
Yeah.
Which is not what she said, but that when she was getting like so upset about this and she had brought up the monogamy of her own relationship earlier, that's what it made me think of. Is
No,
that
I
she
think
was just like really personalizing every aspect of this.
I think you're so right. I forget a lot of the times that Tina's bisexual. Because I'm like, well, I like Tina, so Tina must be a lesbian. No. Um no, but you're right. But they don't get to like finish this argument because who pops up? But Kit just like
Kit!
comes out of a corner. Kit's just like, hello, like Mrs. Doubtfire, hello. And Kit's just like, I need to talk to you guys. And they're like, it is not a good time. And how did you get in the house?
It's like in Gilmore Girls when Luke breaks into their house and they're like, what the heck? How did you get in here? And Lorelai almost like kills him with some weapon she got off the entryway because
Yeah.
she heard him walking around and thought like someone had intruded, and it was just him.
Catch me thinking that every night I'm home alone. I literally hear a noise and I'm so scared.
And he was just like testing the locks because he was doing a bunch of like fixing up around their house, and he was like, man, this lock sucks, I better fix this. So he literally broke the lock off the door. This is Kit.
Literally exactly the same. But Kit is in a 12-step program and she wants to make amends. Probably not the best night. Maybe could have had a phone call before, but she was saying like, I'm gonna lose my nerve. And oh man, the things she's like, Bet doesn't want to hear it. I feel like Bet is like, oh, it's just like all the other times, blah, blah, blah. Because obviously like Kit is an addict and relapse is part of recovery. And obviously Kit has done this before, but I still don't think I think Bet's I don't want to excuse the way Bet treated Kit because I don't like it, but I can understand where she was coming from, right? You can be empathetic with somebody and where they're coming from, but still think that their actions are wrong, you know? But she like locks herself in a room and Kit is like trying to apologize like through the door. And she says like the saddest things, and it made me feel like, because obviously Bet's the younger sister. I'm a younger sister. And so like when Kit was saying, I'm sorry I didn't show up for your 12th birthday, you know, even though I said I could, I was like, oh, like that is like a deep pain that I'm sure Bet is like feeling from that. But like obviously it's not like the worst thing that's happened, but I just felt for it. And like my Pisces moon was crying. I have cried like literally in the last 24 hours. I think I've cried 4 times. I'm not even exaggerating.
I cried a lot the last 24 hours too. This morning I cried to a podcast.
Oh. Which podcast?
We Can Do Hard Things.
Oh.
Glennon was talking about how when Chase, their oldest kid, was born, she wrote a letter to him saying like, if you were to ever come out, here's what would happen. And it's in one of her books, Love Warrior. And when she came out, one of her fans sent an anonymous email and had changed like the words in the letter, so it was a letter to her from her community. And I started sobbing. And then when her son Chase actually did come out to her, and
shut up.
Yeah, and Abby and his dad, she left that poem or that letter on his pillow. And yeah, I'm just like
cry too
in my car on the way home from the grocery store, absolutely sobbing. If anyone listening wants to go listen to that, it's the We Can Do Hard Things episode with Abby talking about the church and religious trauma.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah.
We listened to very different podcasts today. I was on part 4 of Thomas Jefferson walkthrough on behind the on behind the bastards. So he was a terrible person. But anyway. Okay, back to Kit. So yeah, Bette does not respond. I think Bette is like in a state of like overwhelm because of the things that just happened with Jenny and Marina, and now Kit's coming in, and that's like a whole different type of stress and level of stress. And yeah, basically Tina's like, maybe it's just not a good time, you know?
Yeah. Well, she definitely has a lot of like defense mechanisms built around her sister that kicked in because she was already in like a high she was already in sort of like a triggered place when Kit popped out of the dark in her house. And now she's like in full defense mode before even being able to hear Kit out. So that wasn't exactly a productive time between the two of them. But what Tina did in this moment, I thought was really important. First of all, she tried to get Bette to hear Kit out. And she let...
Although I don't like that she was like, maybe this is just not how I would do it, but she was like, come on, Bette, just hear her out. You know this isn't easy for her.
Yeah, I don't think I would have phrased it like that. I didn't quite like that either. But I did think that it was important to the relationship with Kit for her to let her know that, like, it is important that you make these amends, and like, I see what you're doing and I appreciate that you're doing this, and like, come try again with her at a different time.
Yeah, Tina's just kind of a good person and is as helpful as she can be in facilitating things. She's kind of a peacemaker, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And then later, when Kit has left and she gets let into the bedroom with Bette, she goes up to Bette, and I think that she's gonna kind of be like, come on, you know, like she was trying to make amends, but no, she comes and is fully on Bette's team and says, I love that you have such strong convictions. It's what makes you you, and I love that about you. And it was just this, I know, I just kind of got chills.
I'm like teary-eyed because to be fully seen and fully loved by your partner, regardless of, because some people would see that as like a flaw, right? Mm-hmm. And she's like, that is what like you said, like that is what makes you you, and I love you for it. Like, I love them.
Yeah, she saw that Bette needed support, and Bette just had a really emotional, high stress night, and she came and she was that support for her person, and she did not criticize her. She did not tear her down. She built her up. It was
You're gonna be
beautiful.
So mad at Bette at one point.
Oh no.
Oh, you're gonna hate Bette right in a little while. But yeah, it was a really beautiful scene, and I love that. And we're gonna have to talk more about Bette and Tina's storyline. But first, I want to talk about two other storylines.
Yeah.
When I first saw, so let's talk about Laura, because when I first saw Laura and Dana, right, I literally wrote down on my notes, oh my God, Dana and Laura. So what do you think of Laura?
I was not getting gay vibes from Laura, except for, obviously, okay, she sends Dana food, and I was like, oh yeah, she's flirting, duh.
Yeah.
And then when they go on this whole like secret mission to find out if she's flirting or if she's gay, I was like, oh my God, this is so extra. And they all act as though they've done this a million times before. And I'm like, in what world?
Yeah. Because Alice is like, oh, Dana, you don't have a gaydar. Like, you're missing it. And Shane's like, it's so easy to tell if a girl's straight or gay. And Alice is like, yeah, most girls are straight until they're not. And I'm like, that is accurate. I thought that made me laugh. So Alice is so funny. She's like so quintessential and Aquarius to me, and it's hilarious to watch. But yeah, so they like go on this secret mission, and it's like filmed like a Charlie's Angel, like them all getting out of the car, and like, they have their like teeny tiny sunglasses on that look like spy sunglasses, or at least Bet does. I wasn't paying attention to anyone else, as per usual, so I don't know what anyone else was wearing. But yeah, they go on this mission, and it's like not going well. They're like, it's 50-50. Like, we can't tell because her outfit, she's wearing a chef's uniform. But then they're like, okay, we're gonna send in the big gun. And so they send in Shane at the country club to flirt with Lara and see if she is gay or straight. And Lara just gives nothing. But at this point, I think Lara's figured it out.
Yeah.
Like, they're not being that discreet.
No. Also, she is literally looking past Shane at Dana the entire time that Shane is talking to her.
Exactly. Exactly. I can't. I cannot. Hold on. I'm trying to catch myself up with notes since we're like going. Okay. So Dana is also doing a Subaru ad.
Mm-hmm.
This closeted woman, Subaru, wants her.
Yep.
And I find it so funny because, like, obviously everyone knows Subaru is the lesbian car. And I actually heard something, I don't remember, maybe it was in the L Word. I can't remember where I heard this, but Subaru obviously has been marketing to lesbians for a really long time, but like never outright say it. And I found out that like through Subaru's, like all of their market research on lesbians are like, lesbians actually really love subtlety. And so that's why they market the way that they do. And it's like worked for them for like over a decade. I know.
You want to know what's really funny?
Yeah, always.
In high school, my first car was a pickup truck.
Of course, Montana.
Actually, my first car, I can't remember if my first car was the Subaru or the pickup truck. I drove a Subaru, okay?
It wasn't that long ago. How do you not remember?
I just don't remember the order. I think it was the Subaru first, actually. It was the Subaru first because I could not drive over 45 miles an hour because the wheels kept catching on fire.
Oh my God!
My parents liked that because that meant I could not leave town.
That's so crazy.
So they were like, that's fine. Yeah, and because I got it from my mom when she bought a new car, so I got like her old Subaru, but I did not yet know that I was a lesbian, and I inherited it from my mother, who is not a lesbian. But then, yeah, so I drove the quintessential lesbian car before I knew I was a lesbian, and then I upgraded to a bright red pickup truck.
Also very gay.
Yeah, I loved that thing, and then. I wasn't allowed to take it to college because it broke down.
Okay. What do you drive now?
Well, now I'm rocking a mom car, but I had a RAV4 before that a high school kid stole his grandpa's truck on the 4th of July and hit me because he was texting and driving and he had no driver's license. And I got a terrible wreck. I had brain damage. Literally, I had a really bad concussion and like my brain scrambled. I could not put together a sentence for 2 weeks. Like it was like
I just learned that's called aphasia.
Words, yeah. I didn't know that, but I had word salad. I was doing weird things.
Haley, that's terrible.
Yeah, so it totaled my car and I had to buy a new one and I just had put new tires on it and that sucked. So like literally 2 days before that, I had brand new tires. So now I have my mom car.
I love that for you. I have a mom car as well because I am a mom.
That's right.
But I got to get a new car soon and I'm very excited because should I get a Subaru? I feel like it would be perfect for me.
They have catalytic converter issues.
Oh, no. Oh, I did hear that. Okay, well, we'll talk about that another time. Anyway, Dana is basically hired on for Subaru. She's so excited, and I'm excited for you to see, I think, the next episode with that storyline. But Lara is gay, and we find that out in the locker room. And I love how bold Lara is. I'm like, what's her sign? Is she like a Sagittarius? I don't know, but it definitely takes some like fire to do what she did. So they like are in the locker room, Dana and Lara, after this whole like spy mission is like seen as a failure because they're like, oh, she's straight. Bette and Alice and Shane have declared that she is straight. And then Lara is in the locker room. She leaves. She says like bye to Dana. And Dana's like just in there. And then Lara comes back into the locker room and just like basically like not pushes Dana into the lockers, but like Dana's back is against the locker and just kisses her and is like, just in case you were still wondering, and then walks out. What a bold move, and so hot. And I love Lara. I love her so much. I think I'm just attracted to confidence. Not that I'm attracted to Lara. I'm attracted to what she does. I'm attracted to what Marina does, what Lara does, and then just full personhood of Bette. Because she's actually attractive to me. Like in a more so way. So that's the end of that storyline for now. Let's do Bette and Tina, and then lastly we'll do Gabby and Alice. Oh, and we gotta talk about Shane.
Yeah.
Bette and Tina is fast because we already covered like half of it. So then, so we'll go back to Bette and Tina. So I put my notes. So they have a sweet romantic make a baby night. And it really was. They like got all their thing, like all the, they got the specimen, and it's in like what is that? Nitrogen cryo bank.
Yeah, thing? Dry ice.
Thank you. Okay. But isn't it nitrogen?
I don't know. Let's get a chemist Siri. On here. Call my godfather.
Dry ice nitrogen? Is your godfather a chemist?
Yes, he was my high school chemistry teacher. I'll see him in 2 weeks.
Of course he was. And your dad is a teacher too.
He's a biology and earth science teacher. Yep.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, apparently dry ice is liquid nitrogen.
My mom's a chemist. Why didn't I say that? My mom's a pharmacist, but she does the chemistry.
How sexist of
my
you.
Mom is so smart. Shout out to my smart mom.
Shout out to Haley's smart mom, who actually gave us advice on our Instagram, and I haven't taken it yet. I'm so sorry, Haley's mom. I will post immediately following this. But they get their specimen out of their liquid nitrogen dry ice, and they like have this beautiful night of like having sex and then semen. Like they made a baby. Like they in the same way, just with a little help.
They did this. They praised and honored the sperm.
Oh yes,
which I was like,
they honor you. Yeah, it's very new agey, like of the early aughts time period. But it was funny too because I was like, it's just cute. They're like, we honor you, and I'm like, okay. I hope you get pregnant, Tina. That's kind of the.
Well, okay, after when she's laying there with her legs up in the air, and then we hear knock, knock, knock.
Knock, knock, knock.
And
this
all
is one of my favorite parts.
Come. I know.
Yes.
And they're just like pacing. Data's pacing at the front porch, and they're like, we have a problem. We have such a problem. And Bette's like, what? And so you thought you had to come here? And they're like, no, this is serious. Dana likes a girl. We don't know if she's gay. And she's like, oh, come in. And
like, fine, come in.
Yeah.
And Dana's like, I'm so sorry. And Bette just goes, it's okay. We were finished. And she goes, oh.
Yeah. And they all come in to the bedroom, and Tina's literally laying there naked with a blanket over her with her legs in the air. And Alice picks up the vial of sperm and squirts it. She's like, what's this? Squirts the sperm. It lands on Dana. And she's like, yep. Get it off. Okay, first of all, if I were Bette and Tina, I'd be pissed because what if it doesn't work and you need to do it again?
I don't think you can use the same one once it's been like thawed.
Oh, maybe
so I
not.
think they like use. I don't know why they wouldn't use all of it.
I don't know either. And
Oh.
then if I was Dana, I would literally throw up.
Oh my God, so gross. And she's like, ew, get it off, get it off. And Alice is like, you can't get pregnant from getting sperm on your sweater. I'm like, shut the fuck up, Alice. You just squirted her with human fluids. Ew.
Yeah. Have I told the
And like the
podcast
worst one.
about my pregnancy scare when I was 13?
Oh
I told you
my
about
God,
this.
no. How? Oh my God, 13.
I thought I was pregnant when I was 13, and I went home and I told my mom I was pregnant, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, who have you been sleeping with?" And I was like, "I, no,
What?
no." She said, "Who's the dad?" And I said, "I don't know. It could be anybody." Because
Oh,
this girl at school told me that you can get pregnant from hugging boys because sperm can jump through your pants and get you pregnant.
wow, what a brat.
Yeah, and I hadn't had my period because I was running cross country. So my body
Oh,
fat
right.
was too low. And I didn't know that because Montana sex ed, yay. So I was like, yep, I'm
Yeah,
pregnant.
seriously.
I'm literally 5 months pregnant and I'm 13. This is just great. And I don't know who the dad is. So
Oh,
yeah, I told my mom, I told her I didn't know who the dad was and it could be literally anybody. And she goes, how many people have you slept with? And I was like, slept with? I haven't slept with anybody. And she's like,
what?
hold on. how, how do you think you got pregnant? Anyway, that poor woman is going great because of me.
Oh. Again, I'm telling you, you and Dana to me are such similar characters, and I love it. Your guys are so sweet and cute. So yeah, they go in and okay, again, I wrote this down. I had to rewind like 3 times because my brain wasn't processing and I was trying to write down a quote with a lot of really big words. And again, I was like, how do you not fall in love with Bette? She says this. She says, we are going to take care of this. First of all, hot. That's so hot. Somebody saying they're going to take care of my problem. Thank you. We're going to take care of this. We are going to deploy a mission to ascertain the disposition and intent of one Miss Laura Perkins. Oh my God, that is like the hottest string of words. It's very much gives Keira Knightley in Pirates of the Caribbean, where she's like, what does she say?
Are you gonna say
I'm,
that I
I'm
acquiesce?
I'm disinclined to
Oh.
acquiesce to your request. And I was like, I love that too. Okay. I just like big words. I like intelligence. And she's sitting there in like her robe because she just like impregnated her girlfriend. And now she's like, don't worry, Dana, I'll take care of you. We'll figure this out. Don't you worry. And I'm just like, Julia was asking why I'm such a Bette stan. And I'm like, all the evidence is right here, Julia. I will just tell you. So that's when they go on their spy mission, of course. But I have a question for you. Do you think Tina's going to get pregnant?
Ooh, I don't know. 50-50 shot.
True. It is yes or no.
I heard a rumor that if you're turned on, then there's a bigger chance, and they turned it on.
True. Did you hear that from Bette and Tina's doctor in the first episode?
Did they say that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Remember, Bette was like eating her out in the office because she said,
Oh, I forgot
it's
about
better.
that.
Yeah. Wait, so where did you hear it?
I don't know. I just had that information in my brain.
I heard on a show, and this is going to sound terrible, and I don't remember what show it was, but it was like a native person saying that, like, if the woman doesn't have an orgasm when she's impregnated, that baby doesn't actually get a soul. I know you look like Grumpy Cat. Like that. Your face was like, what?
I did look like Grumpy Cat.
I missed you. I haven't seen you in like a week or talked to you
I know,
very
I
much.
missed you too. Oh my god.
So anyway. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I'm sure that Tina had a great time making a possible baby.
I
So,
want to
yeah.
know, is it a wives' tale or is it real that you're supposed to be upside down, like, and leave your legs up to let the
I
sperm
think
soak in?
so. I think that's just a gravity thing. I mean,
Because
I feel
otherwise it
like,
leaks out.
well, yeah, you got
Yeah.
to keep it all in.
But
Ugh.
if they're a strong swimmer, won't they just swim up there?
Yeah, I mean, you could get pregnant even if you walk around after sex, for sure. Okay, kids, be careful. Um, but I think I think it is a old wives' tale, but it also like kind of makes sense. I doubt there's any like evidentiary peer-reviewed support for it, but it like makes sense just from like a common sense perspective, I feel like.
Yeah. And I guess,
So,
like, if you're trying to improve your odds, it doesn't hurt.
yeah, it's not gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm full on, like, when it's my time to get pregnant, I'm full on, like, hey, dude, can I just borrow some of that? And then, like, turkey baste it,
oh
legs
yeah.
upside down,
Yeah.
cheap, $10.
No, seriously, like what they were doing at the beginning where they're just trying to get someone's sperm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think turkey baster is definitely the way to go.
Actually, now that I say that, I feel really uncomfortable about having sperm in my body.
I mean, yeah.
I take it back. It can't be like that. I can't have seen him. I can't have seen a man on the street and then have his sperm in my body. I take it back.
Ew.
Nobody impregnate me like that.
Oh, you're so
Bye.
anxious right now. I can see your anxiety just rising. Okay,
I'm
ready?
sweating.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
Okay.
Big one in, big one out. It's okay. No one's impregnating you, Haley.
I got so hot right then.
I saw it happen right in front of me.
Okay, anyway.
Okay, let's talk about Shane and her stalker quickly, and then we'll talk about Gabby and Alice because I have a lot to say.
Yeah.
Mostly about Shane's as a friend's reaction to Gabby and Alice. But let's go with Shane first.
Okay. Yeah, we got this girl Lacey. Crazy Lacey, who is first of all, she has the same aesthetic as Shane, but like femme.
The femme version.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Which makes me wonder, were they in an actual like relationship-y situation? No. Okay.
No,
okay,
they
just
definitely
from like the same scene, maybe.
Shane doesn't do relationships.
Okay, true.
Yeah.
So anyway, Lacey's whole thing is she wants to expose
Shane doesn't do relationships yet.
Ooh, ding, ding, keyword. She wants to expose Shane as a menace to society. And her like slogan about Shane is the 4 Fs. She finds them, feels them, fucks them, and forgets them.
That's so cringe.
I know. And Shane, like, is just everywhere she goes, there's Lacey following her and, like, intimidating her. And, like, she goes to the coffee shop and Lacey literally gets in her face with a giant camera with a giant flash and is yelling and has to be removed by Marina.
Yeah, Marina, like, throws her out.
Mm-hmm.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, and then at karaoke night, Lacey like takes the stage and takes a guitar and she's like, everybody listen up. I have a thing to say. And she like grabs a spotlight and like shines it on Shane. And this girl had approached Shane and Shane was like, oh man, this is terrible timing.
The worst thing that could happen to you happened.
Yeah. And Lacey is like, I'm exposing you. Everyone stay away. She's probably slept with you and you and you and you, and points at the girl. And the girl is like, okay, I'm getting away from you.
I'm gonna go now.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah. And Shane is just so calm through this whole thing. She just, the whole episode, she just stands there through all of these interactions and then is like, okay.
I think Shane's a Gemini. They're pretty cool under pressure like that. But also like, yeah, I was impressed with Shane through that because she literally brought in a spotlight and shined it on her and announced to that girl is, I feel bad because obviously she like deeply cared about Shane and really really had, I don't want to say loved because I think she was just infatuated and like in lust with Shane, which like fair and fine, but like girl, you guys like probably fucked once. Like stop.
Yeah. She feels clearly very wronged by Shane and wants everyone to know it,
Yeah.
and apparently can't let something go either and cannot move on.
No. Which I feel like is like partially a lesbian stereotype, but also like not like this. Like,
Mhm.
yeah. And I don't think this is going to be like a much longer lasting thing, hopefully. But yeah, poor Shane. I do feel bad for Shane. And Shane, I feel like one of the hallmarks of Shane is like she's such a good friend. And that like in turn makes her friends like so defensive of her, but they'll also like call her out. But in this case, that girl was off her rocker for
Yeah.
trying not to be, say I'm trying to stay away from crazy, even though I've said it like 100 times. I also want to say like psychotic, but that's also not a good term. But she's just not acting like normal people would be acting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was a bit of Shane's storyline. But Shane's other storyline was as like Alice's best friend. And Shane and Alice have such a great friendship relationship. It carries on all the way through Generation Q. Like it's just always there. And I love it because bleh, 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 because Gabby comes back into the picture, and Gabby is one of Alice's ex, who we can surmise did not treat her very well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Mostly based on Shane's reaction. And I love this because I have friends like this who will like give it to me straight. Like Shane literally says, I will kill you if you get back together with her. And then like Alice proceeds to like entertain Gabby. And
Mm-hmm.
she says it twice. She says, literally, I'm going to kill myself if you and Gabby get back together. And honestly, when your like best friend says that, I feel like you should listen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what did you think about that?
Oh, yeah. And Gabby so quickly proved why Shane would say something like that.
Oh my God, she's the worst.
Yeah. She was so manipulative.
Oh yeah. And also super toxic and like low-key abusive because like she stands Alice up after Alice finally agrees to go back out with her, stands her up slash is late and is like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you forgive me?" And they're like about to go on their secret mission for Dana. And Alice is like, "Sorry, I have to like go with her friends." And Bet is like just such a good friend as well. She's like, "No, we're leaving. Like, come on, Alice," like specifically. And Alice and toxic Gabby is like, "Do you always have to do everything your friends say?" Like, that is so toxic and abusive to like try and cut someone off from their friends like that,
Mm-hmm.
or like paint their friends in a bad light, not only to like Alice, but like to her friends' faces. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I just hate Gabby. I hate Gabby so much.
Yeah. And Alice falls for it, which
I know.
makes me feel like maybe this is a pattern, clearly, that, that the two of them had been in before.
Definitely.
Um, because you can tell she feels like very nervous about walking away from Gabby in this moment and going with her
Yeah.
friends. And she
Yeah.
ends up mouthing "call me" to Gabby, which is
God
kind of
damn
like
it, Alice.
her like peace offering to Gabby of walking away.
Yeah.
Um and it's
Yeah, it's cringe. It's Alice has like no backbone right now.
yeah.
And the way she lets I don't want to say she lets Gabby manipulate her because the onus should be on the manipulator, not the manipulated. But I do need Alice to like get a little bit of Bet energy and a little bit of Shane energy and say, "You're not nice to me."
Mm-hmm.
and you're like flirting with other girls at the bar. Like, she's just not acting the way somebody who wants to be with someone holistically and like wholeheartedly would act. Like, she's treating Alice terribly and not like she deserves to be treated.
Yeah, and like, did Gabby show any interest in getting back with Alice until Alice like magically shows up at her office and she's like, "Oh yeah, Alice exists." Oh,
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's ugh.
yeah.
And it seems like Alice was the one to break up with Gabby. And then it's almost like Gabby is like on a not a conquest, but is like on this mission to like be like, I'm gonna get you back, which is funny because that reminds me of the new Taylor Swift song on her new album. It's literally called I'm Gonna Get You Back. And the whole song is like, does it mean I'm gonna get you back, like back in a relationship? Or does it mean I'm gonna get you back, like I'm gonna like show it to you? I'm gonna get you back, like very like before he cheats, Carrie Underwood, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And so it's like this dynamic of like, I don't know if I want you or if I just want to fuck you over. And that's like how Gabby is. And it makes me like really mad because I love Alice.
Yeah.
Ugh, so I hate that.
Yeah, and the reason that Alice is there in the first place at Gabby's office and runs into her is she wants to do this
Yeah.
story on the chart. And she's like pitching it
Hmm.
to her editor, and he's just not really buying it. And so she ends up doing this piece on vaginal rejuvenation, but
Yeah.
she puts the chart online, and it's so
Yes.
so funny. Speaking of Alice and Shane, Shane's reaction in particular, because she tells both Shane and Dana this, and Dana also is like, "Why the fuck would you do that?" You can kind
Yeah.
of see the fear in her eyes, like she's scared she's gonna get outed, which I'm sure someone's getting outed on this chart at
Well,
somewhere in
yeah,
the world.
because not only is it like on the internet, but people can like add to it,
Mm-hmm.
like from anywhere.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and I was like thinking about it. I was really thinking hard about this because I've done like very small, like I've made my own website. I'm thinking about how you would like make this happen so that like other interfaces and user interfaces can like talk to each other and whatnot. And I was like, what would be great is if there was a chart like this, but it had consent. So if you
Mhm.
were on the chart, you're like, I opt into being on the chart, but I have to approve because there's so many problems I've thought of that could go wonky and haywire with this chart. But like if somebody wants to like put a connection, it's like almost like Instagram where you have to like accept it like yes, I did sleep with this person because you could just put that you sleep with anyone on there. Like there has to be safeguards. This is like
Yeah.
me spiraling about internet
Yeah.
safety.
Yeah. It could turn like into a major version of high school.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, this whole chart, oh man, it's so much fun. It's like
Yeah.
one of the like main through lines through everything, the whole show.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be
Yeah.
fun.
But Shane's face when
Oh,
Alice says that she put it online and that it's like blowing up, and it's growing exponentially, she's like, why? Wow, that's great, Alice. I don't know why anyone would think that's not great. And then Shane, of course, becomes like the major hub of the
That's,
chart.
yes, that's exactly it. Oh my God. I don't think this is going to spoil anything, but a few seasons later, obviously this chart is still going on. There becomes another hub, like another major hub who we like don't know who it is for a really long time. And it's not like one of the main characters or anything, but Shane like gets jealous because she's like, "Oh, like I'm a hub. And now there's someone else as like has a similar, if not more, body count. Like, who is this person? How come we don't know this person? It's really funny. Um, so yeah, I hope Alice doesn't get back with Gabby. That's my hope.
Yeah, same.
Because she's like the worst. But that's really mostly what happens in this episode, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think overall? Whose storyline are you excited to continue watching? Who are you upset with?
I was upset with Jenny. Um, I'm excited about Dana and
Yes.
this stalker situation. I want to
Okay.
know what
Okay.
happens with the stalker.
I think you'll be very pleased with the Dana situation. And I don't remember what happens with this stalker. I do think there are posters maybe coming up. I don't remember, but we'll find out.
Posters?
Yeah, I think Lacey gets even a little bit more crazy.
Oh.
Yeah,
She's making posters of Shane. I see what you're saying.
maybe it may happen. So yeah, we'll have to do another episode really soon.
Yeah. And we have a couple announcements.
Yes. Do you want to tell? I kind of wanted to do this at the beginning, but maybe we'll make people wait till the end because then I have to listen to us.
Yeah, well, first of all, the next book that we'll be covering is Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe.
Yes.
This is a historical fiction, and I've started it. It's really good. I'm really excited to talk about it. So get reading, guys.
Yes.
It's
I
so
downloaded, I bought the Audible and I will be listening to it on my commute and I'm very excited. And also the reason like I did was I the one you gave me like a three of them to pick
Mhm.
from and then I picked this one because my local bookstore has an LGBT or has a like a queer book club and they just did this book and it sounds like it was really good. So when it was on the like list, I was like, let's do it. So I'm
Yeah.
really excited.
I've seen it a lot before, but I just had never read it before, and it has like a lot of awards.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay. And that's the post Haley's mom was telling me that I needed to be better about posting on the Instagram about it. So thank you. I will do that.
And you guys, we have our first fan mail, which is
Oh my God.
so
Haley texted me.
exciting.
Yes, Haley texted me, and I think my response was, what, where, who, when, what'd they say? But we're going to read it because we said, please text us. And now people are. And it was the nicest message. I'm going to let Haley, you want to read it?
Yeah, I'll summarize because it's a little long.
Like our podcast isn't long.
But it's from Jax, and Jax is so sweet, and Jax loves our podcast and perspectives, and had some book recommendations for us to cover. And
Yes.
so I looked them up, and all of them look really good. And what I'm really excited about is that, first of all, I had never heard of any of these. Well, I had heard of Price of Salt, but I didn't know about anything about it.
Wait, so you don't know about Carol? Which is Price of Salt, but
No.
oh my God, Haley. We're doing Imagine Me and You and Carol. Carol has Kate Blanchett and Rooney Mara as the
Okay, yeah,
stars.
I did not know. Whoa, what happened to you? You got covered in balloons.
I got covered in balloons on Zoom. This always happens to me. That's fun. Yes, we should read Price of Salt and we should watch Carol
Okay.
because they are like iconic. It is like Kate Blanchett as an actual lesbian.
Ooh, okay. That sounds fantastic.
Mhm.
And a lot of these were written like a long time ago.
I know, especially
which
Stone Butch Blues.
yeah, which is just so cool to me because a lot of the books that we read are like new. And so
Exactly.
this will get some kind of older perspectives for us. But the other book recommendations that we got from Jax were Tipping the Velvet and Stone Butch Blues. So I'm really excited to read those at some point. And also, Jax wished us happy Pride, and I'd like to wish Jax a happy Pride as well. Thanks for listening and sending us
Yes.
mail. That was so exciting for us.
You literally, yeah, Jax, you made our whole freaking days. We have had, like, reading this, the biggest smiles on our face. I just think, like, seriously, you guys know, like, it means so much to me. I talked to Haley recently about this, but like, this podcast, I kind of started after like a big breakup, and it's been my mental health game changer / saver for the past 6 months. Obviously, thanks to Haley, of course, but knowing that there's people out there that are actually like really enjoying this and like listening and wanting to interact with us, like I said, we've gotten some DMs on Instagram that have made us really happy, and just, you know, the fan mail, of course, has just, it's brightened my day so much and makes it feel like, you know, all this is like worth it. So thank you, Jax. Thank you, Haley. And love that you guys are on this ride with us. And yeah, we can't wait. I definitely want to read some of these. The tipping, Sarah Waters tipping the velvet. I've heard incredible things. And this is almost like, what I've heard about it before is it's pretty like iconic. It's kind of like entryway into like lesbian literature. So we'll put it on the roster for sure.
Yeah, I added them all three to my TBR on Storygraph, which after Riley talked to us about Storygraph, I went and I downloaded it, and you guys, now it's like my new social media.
I know. It's
obsessed.
Good.
I am obsessed.
Yeah.
I am constantly on Storygraph. I'm constantly searching through books. I'm constantly updating my page count. I love Storygraph. So,
oh, I love that for you. Oh, this has been Haley, I'm so glad I got to talk to you. You always you fill up my cup. You make me so happy. So
right back at you, my friend.
I know we need to. Okay, not next week because I'm so busy, but the week after. Next Tuesday, the 25th. We're going out on a friend date or something. Because I need to do something.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll figure that out later. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay. Well, we love you guys. Send us more fan mail. Again, it's linked in the show notes. It's just a little link. You click it and it like has you text us, and we like literally cry. Well, I cry all the time, but I literally screenshotted it, Jax, and I sent it to my mom and my sister, and I said, look, and they hearted it. So yeah. Okay, guys, we love you. We will talk to you soon. Get reading.
Love you guys. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.